Hi, my name is Spencer Ravage, and today I'll be showing how we can leverage the timeout functionality on a user action node within an action request IPA flow to send recurring reminders and escalations from within the flow. I'll also be going over the benefits of this method versus the standard way we do reminders and reassign to handle reminders and escalations. Um, so to start, we have an a simple vendor request, action request flow. So here we just grab the vendor, save off some of the information about the vendor, then we send it to this accounts payable level one. Um, so just standard approval here. They can approve, reject. Once they do that, we update the request with the action that they took. So how we would normally handle reminders is using going to this reminder tab in the user action node and setting how many days for the first reminder, how many for the second. Once those reminders are sent, we can send a reminder message to say, hey, this person hasn't taken or you haven't taken action in a day or 7 days, whatever it is. Please take action on this, something like that. Um, some of the drawbacks to this are on these reminders. We only have a maximum of 2 reminders. And then after the final reminder, we're basically stuck in the user action node. We can't really go anywhere from there, have any logic. Let's say it's sitting in there for 2 weeks. What do we want to do in that scenario? Um, so that's some of the drawbacks with the reminder. With the timeouts, if we want to handle the escalation portion, we can say after 6 days, we want to reassign it to maybe the person's manager or the director level, something like that. So we can handle that there. We will also be using the timeout functionality here, but instead we'll be taking an action from the timeout. So what I've gone ahead and done uh, is create this variable reminder days. So from here, after X number of reminder days, we're going to take the timeout action. So that will actually take us out of the user action node. So it'll be an action that's taken and it'll be timeout. So it'll allow us to branch out to this right here. So with this reminder days, this is a system config variable for the reminder days, and I have a system config variable for the escalation days. So if we go into the tenant, had the reminder days set to 1 and the escalation days set to 4. So what that says is every 1 day, so every day, send a reminder telling the approver that they need to take action. Then after we sent 3 reminders, we're on the 4th day. Then we want to escalate it, in this case, to the accounts payable level 2. So to make this a little clearer so that the user doesn't just see a bunch of requests coming to them and wonder why they're getting multiple for this one action request, I've went ahead and said or put this prefix on both the email. So if we pull one of these up, so here's one of these reminders. You say reminder, this needs approval. I've also put it on the work title so that we get the initial request or the initial work item, and then reminder, then escalation. So to handle these escalations, what I've done is say I've kept a days counter here, and I add to it each time we have a reminder. Once it gets to our escalation days, so in this case 4, then instead of sending another reminder, we want to escalate to accounts payable level 2. So you can see that happening right here. So it sent 1, 2, 3 reminders, and then on the 4th, it's escalating to this accounts payable level 2. So once we get to accounts payable level 2, we have the same thing where the reminders are controlled, or the timeouts are controlled with this reminder days. Except in this case, I've decided to demonstrate a little bit different functionality that we have here. In this case, once it gets to the number of escalation days, we just want to immediately reject the vendor request because at this point it's been sitting there for 8 days. And no one's taken action on it. So maybe we want to send it back to them. Maybe we send an email saying why it's being rejected, and then it might get some more visibility. So this is all nice. This is really flexible for customers because with this configuration variable, they can very easily change how many days they want to send reminders, escalations. They could turn off any kind of escalations, maybe mix and match here without doing any changes to the actual flow itself. There's also different use cases for these, or different flexibility you can have with um, these timeouts. Like whenever it times out, you could use any logic or action or any transactions or anything that you would normally use in an IPA flow because we're now outside the limitations of what the user action node has built in for us. So uh, if a client has a creative request, this can usually be handled with this, and it gives us a lot of control.